Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV. I'm here at 10th Cloud Expo, New York, with Ranajit Nevatia from Panzura. And there's a name that I'm beginning to hear an awful lot of, so I'm fascinated to hear what is it that Panzura is doing? Where did the name come from? What's going on, Ranajit?
Well, the name really describes us very well. The pan is across and Azure being the sky. So we are sort of across the sky in the cloud.
Why didn't the hijackers think of that, or the squatters? You got it. It was a good name, Panzura.
And it very well reflects what we do. So Panzura is essentially a global file system which spans across multiple geos. So it's a geographically dispersed file system, but it utilizes cloud storage backend for all of its repository, and essentially allows our enterprise customers to be able to collaborate across these multiple sites. So essentially the device itself looks like a NAS device, and it sits on top of an object storage. And that object storage could be either a private object storage, essentially a private cloud, or a public object storage or a public cloud like Amazon, Google, and Nirvanix. So these are all of our partners. As a matter of fact, we are here at the show with 5 of our partners. We just announced a press release with Rackspace.
Right.
Rackspace has cloud files, as you might know, and we interface with cloud files. And in addition, we are here with Amplidata, with Scality, with EMC, and with HP, who recently announced their public cloud service as well.
We were just talking before we started recording that I've been seeing all these tweets from all these companies. Now I know why. They're partners of Panzura.
They absolutely are, and we are very fortunate that they are leading with our technology to promote their own cloud service. So that puts us in a very strategic position with these partners.
And who typically, what would be a customer who's going to come then and use Rackspace and Panzura, or whatever the EMC and Panzura? What would be a typical customer? We're talking enterprise, we're talking big.
Right, yes. So big can be defined in 2 different ways. So we are very much an enterprise class product targeted at the large enterprise. But the way we define our market is in 2 terms. So we work with customers who have very large amounts of data. They might not be very large companies. So I have customers in the media and entertainment business. They might be only 300 or 500 people company, but they're managing very large number of video assets, very large number of files, so they have large data.
Large data sets, they don't have to be.
They don't, yeah, exactly. So, and they use us to either archive all of that data into a public or private cloud, and then after the archiving, they also share that data to their various different offices. So we have customers who have artists who are working on video files in New York, as well as that same artist, a similar artist in London might be working on that same content, like the content which you're producing here, and if you had multiple people editing that content later in different geos, we make that available. We provide that platform which allows them to collaborate between these 2 geos while maintaining data integrity at the back end. So that's one of our use case, archiving as well as this collaboration. Now this collaboration use case takes us into large enterprises as well. So enterprise which are very heavily distributed across multiple sites. So today they end up maintaining a lot of storage infrastructure at each one of these sites. With the Panzura device, they are able to consolidate a lot of those storage infrastructure into a centralized object store, again, private or public. And they're able to provide localized file services to each one of those distributed locations which they have. So those are the 2 kinds of customer which we see. Either customers who have large amounts of data, whether it be backup or archive or just file data, or customers who have large number of sites so that it's very distributed and they need sort of shared access. So in some ways we end up looking like an enterprise Dropbox as well, except the sharing which we help with is very much around project sharing, not just photo sharing, project sharing. So you're sharing video files which are being edited. In the architectural, engineering, construction industry, we help these architects design and collaborate on large CAD/CAM type of files. In the software development industry, we have people who are doing software builds and distributing these software builds across multiple sites. So we have customers in pretty much all industries. Here in New York, we have very large customers in the media and entertainment space. We recently closed a very large financial services company, a large bank essentially, and they're using us for all of these use cases. So they're using us as a backup target to basically take all of their Symantec net backup and store it into the object storage through the Panzura device. They're using us to dump a lot of their Oracle databases directly onto the Panzura device. So this is Oracle RMAN writing directly to our box to back it up. They're also using us to tier their data. So we sit behind one of their tiering appliances, and that tiering appliance moves data from their expensive file storage to the Panzura device, thereby allowing them to get much more leverage out of their existing storage. And then the last use case which they're using us for is financial data. So they collect all this tick data. That tick data basically gets uploaded into the Panzura device in a centralized store, and that tick data then gets shared across multiple geos, especially London, New York, and they're also in Switzerland. They basically share that tick data. They build very large Excel spreadsheets to analyze that data, and that large Excel spreadsheets gets edited by these various financial analysts in these locations, and they're able to do it with all of that tick data which is centralized stored. So our use cases and our industries span these. I mean, we have seen these 3 or 4 use cases as the way people use our system, and then some of these use cases are very horizontal, as in backup and archive pretty much every industry needs, and then the sharing use case is dependent on the kind of vertical. So media and entertainment is a big one for us, financial services, as I mentioned, architectural engineering design firms. So these are the kind of customers who we have here.
Sounds fantastic. I'm thinking that people are going to be viewing this saying, but I would like to figure this out for myself with these guys. So they go to panzura.com and start there.
Yeah, they can come to our webpage. They can also learn about us through our partners. Our partners also, when they run into enterprise use case of cloud storage, they promote our technology. But yes, the best place to get started would be panzura.com, where we have lots of white papers and collateral which explain this technology in much more detail. So
yeah, an invitation from Ranajit Nevatia himself to go and do exactly that. Go through your partner if you're already engaged, or go through direct through panzura.com. Thanks so much, Ranajit, for joining us here in New York.
Thank you, Jeremy. Really appreciate this opportunity.
And
great to see you again.
Well, thank you, and thank our audience there for joining us out there on the World Wide Web.